welcome to High Desert Highlights. I'm Peyton Thomas. That's Steele Haugen. And Steele, it's hard to believe we saw the final IMC games played tonight.
I know, it went by so quick. I can't believe it.
Yeah, and there was a lot to play for this week on the boys' side. Redmond battling right near the top to have a chance at the IMC title, but to even have a chance, they needed 2 wins, starting with this one. Huge at-home Tuesday against Caldera. It was a packed gym. Both teams were firing, and that includes Wyatt Horner, of course.
And he can go inside and out.
Yeah, well, Redmond a tight lead in the third, but the Wolfpack keeping things close. Snap-fire three-pointer from Aiden Cruz. Ian Pearson, the point guard for Redmond, he had himself a game for the Panthers. Drives left here, draws some contact. Free throw is good to end the quarter for Redmond. Heading into the fourth, a tight ball game, and the action stays hot. Jack Bentz cashing in from deep. Then Caldera start to find the inside game. Over the top to Will Jensen. Is that even fair? He gets the and one and just bullies everybody inside. The Wolfpack staying hot. McComber scoops up this loose Redmond shot. He goes baseline to baseline for the lay.
That's speed and finishing. That's a great job.
That capped a 10-0 Caldera run to tie things up, but Redmond strikes again, and it's Horner again. That jumper beyond the arc. Redmond up 5, just a minute to play. There's the Jensen response, but Redmond trying to stay a step ahead. How about this David versus Goliath matchup? It's Ian Pearson working against Will Jensen. Caldera forced to put Redmond at the line, and Caldera one more chance. Less than 10 seconds to go. They trail by 6. The shot misses. It funnels back out to Seb Five. Five, he keeps Caldera alive with the big three-pointer. 3 seconds left, though. Wolfpack have to foul. They can't do it. Panthers a huge win at home, 75-72.
All right, that was a big win, and guess what? We're staying right there in Redmond. For tonight, they had a game against Mountain View. This was a battle of the Cats, the Cougars versus the Panthers. Now, it was senior night for the Panthers, and like we just saw, a packed crowd in attendance once again. Now, Brody Meir, he has this assist to Quinn Goey. This is an and one to start the game. Cougars score first. Now, a few plays later, Ian Pearson from downtown.
Way downtown.
Net. Goey this time with the baseline drive, and he was carrying the Cougars a lot early on. Jack Snyder passed to an open Drake Cummings in the corner. Bang! And then Pearson doing it on both ends. The steal leads to the lay-in. And top of the key, you can't leave this guy any room. That's Mason Chambers. It's good. And look at this Pearson picture-perfect pass, Peyton.
That's a perfect point guard right there. That's what you expect from your guy at the top, making plays like that.
Makes it look easy. All right. Now, Chambers, he gets another one, and they are keeping the Mountain View Cougars in this one. Down low, Tatum Ashleman. Holy cow, look at that fadeaway. And Goey here refuses to get stopped at the rim for Mountain View. This time, Ukiah Munson, he's in the corner. Panthers cannot miss. Pearson, tough finish. He can do it outside. He can do it inside. Goey, spin, move, and he is just keeping them alive.
And high off the glass, keeps it away from the defender.
This time it's Mason Zamko. He says, I want to get in some of this action. Bang, and then right before the half, he pump fakes, gets the baseline. Panthers complete control, Peyton. They defeat the Cougars 80-51, and they finish the league record with an 8-2 overall.
Impressive year for the Redmond Panthers.
Absolutely, and we were talking about this earlier. The #1 team in the state, Caldera, the defending champs Summit, and I actually talked to Ian Pearson about how those teams kind of got them ready, or will get them ready for postseason play.
It's the best thing for postseason is to play teams like that, especially Caldera, obviously a great team, #1 in the state. Summit, top 10, they got us twice, but you know, it's the best thing you can do to prepare for playoffs and hopefully state. Just look ahead at the next game, go 1-0 against whoever we got, and then keep taking it one game at a time.
Now, those Redmond wins put the pressure on Summit. So let's head over there now. They had a chance to clinch the IMC title, but they had to win tonight against Ridgeview and the Storm. They come out of halftime with a double-digit lead. And how about some broken ankles as well? Liam Woodford dropping his defender. One more look at that.
They have athletic trainers, right, for those ankles?
Ooh. And how about Ryder Breed finishing up the play? You have to finish that with a bucket, of course.
Absolutely.
A minute later, the Storm scramble to force a turnover here. The Rock, well, it's grabbed by Kettering and moves all the way through for Will Manfredi, and he fires away a missile from big range. You know what? He can do it from anywhere.
No hesitation.
Yeah, getting the look inside. He makes the cut in off the glass. Then Kettering in on the action. He drives into the lane. and makes it for the 2. Kai Scally says, hey, I want a piece of that. So he takes it baseline, gets some contact, and finishes tough at the rim. Well, Summit makes no mistakes. They lock things up on both ends of the floor. 69-53 win. The Storm clinch the IMC boys title. Summit locker room after cutting down the nets. The Storm celebrating their 3rd straight IMC title since moving back down to 5A.
Yeah, and that takes us to the 5A scoreboards. Let's take a look a little bit at some of the scores. There we go. Redmond, Mountain View, Caldera, Bend, and Summit Ridgeview. All right.
And I mean, those 3 home teams tonight, Redmond, Caldera, Summit, those are 3 teams, I think 5A teams across the state are looking out for in the postseason. None of those guys are going to be easy outs when that bracket gets released on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And those results square up our final IMC boys standings for the year. And Summit actually on top. The overall record shook things up on this graphic, but Summit, the IMC champions. But look at that. Caldera ranked #1 in the OSAA. Redmond ranked #3, and then of course you have the conference champion.
That's competition. That'll get some teams prepared for the postseason.
All right, I know both of us very excited to see what those squads can do by the time we get to those postseason. All right, girls highlights and more playoff action coming up after the break.
Welcome back to High Desert Highlights, the first Central Oregon team to compete in the postseason this year, the Sisters Outlaws.
And they were at home taking on St. Mary's Medford this on Wednesday. And Sisters, they get to host as the 14 seed taking on the 19 seed. And they find their stride in the first half with lots of smooth shooting like this Levi ZZ jumper. Outlaws take a 4-point halftime lead, and then they start building. That's Landon Scott from the corner. And then Scott goes inside for a little floater action for the 2. Later in the third, Outlaws, well, they fire up the transition game. An easy lay over the top. They find the open man, Oliver Bernhardt. Another St. Mary's miss leads to a breakout again, and a lot of the second half looked like this. That's right over the top. How about that breakout from Landon Scott? And as Sisters took control of this game on the boards, the wheels really started to come off for St. Mary's.
Yeah, and I mean, when you're down and they're already scoring transition buckets on you, it's hard to come back. Look at that. Easy buckets, great pass.
That transition bucket from Shar into the fourth quarter. Sisters kept things controlled. Scott picking up the and one here. Outlaws take care of business in the first round, 64-40 over St. Mary's. And after that playoff win, the Outlaws move forward in the 3A state playoff bracket. Sisters advances to play Valley Catholic tomorrow. Now that's going to be a tough game against the 3A #3 seed.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a tough one, and on Saturday, which is also.
And they're on the road, so they have to travel too. So into 5A girls action. This from Tuesday. Both Bend and Ridgeview in need of a big win, and it's the Lava Bears getting things started from deep. The hesitation, Abby Johnson cashes in, but then the Ravens get working. Kennedy Scott, she takes it 3/4 of the floor. She says, yeah, I'll just do it myself, and finds the layup. Bend has multiple shooters though. Cass Sandrin, she's wide open and drills the triple. Then into the second quarter, it's a loose basketball. Bend unable to really corral it. Ridgeview finally scoops up and looks to work out of pressure, and that pressure, it creates diamonds here for the Ravens. Over the top, Brianna Johnson from deep. That's good. Minute later though, Bend forces their own turnover and then have a couple cracks at the basket. They just can't seem to get it to go until Johnson picks it up and she finds the and one in the contact.
Strong finish.
Later in the quarter, a good baseline cut leads to an Olivia DeRoss bucket. It was Bend, though, who cruised in the second half. They got their first IMC League win this year, 44-33 at Ridgeview.
All right, and now we're moving over to the Redmond Girls versus Mountain View. This was Aslan She starts it off with a beautiful assist to Freya Snow, cut into the basket, finishing strong. This time, it's Mylena Norton. She passes it. She gets it right back. She's in attack mode, and she finishes at the rim.
Smart basketball play right there.
Absolutely. Now, Snow out to Dylan Cheney, finds room, finds the spot, gets open, and a splash.
Money jump shot.
Net. And they can do it on defense, too, because guess what? Gets the steal, outlet to Snow, easy buckets. The Lady Panthers, they are the 2025 IMC champs. They win this one 69-33. Good for them.
Yeah, they had locked that up a while ago.
Yep.
10-0 in league play for the Redmond Panthers this year. Let's look at tonight's 5A scoreboard. A couple other games going on around the High Desert. Caldera getting the win on the road against Bend, and Summit getting the win on the road against Ridgeview. But like we said, Redmond already had that title locked up, a 10-0 league record. They're ranked number 3 in the OSA rankings, but Summit and Caldera also a couple teams to look out for.
They have a new coach, but they have that experience, and Summit, experience goes a long way.
All right, we'll see how things shake out on the girls' side once we get into the postseason. Definitely some squads to watch. Our top play of the night and a few playoff matchups to look forward to coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to High Desert Highlights. Steel, it is that time in the night. We have to look at all of the things we saw on the hardwood this week and pick out our favorite.
Just one.
Just one. Where we go?
We're going back to Redmond High School, but what game is it? It's the one versus Mountain View. Again, just look at this pass. I can't get over it, Peyton. He's at the top of the key. Look at he's not even open at the baseline. He just kind of leads him where he needs to be. That's point guard vision.
Right, and there's 3 defenders in the way of that pass, and he's just flinging that thing out with one hand. You know, you love a scoring point guard. Of course, you want your point guard to play defense, but really he's out there to make plays, find a way to get his teammates open, even when they aren't expecting it or aren't fully open.
And great to be reacting to that in real time.
Absolutely, and in Pearson, a guy who is just a crucial player on that Redmond team. He not always is the top scorer. That usually goes for Snyder or Horner, but
he's the motor that
he makes it all go and constantly making some crafty, unique plays. All right, 5A brackets are finalized on Tuesday, so we'll have a look next week at a bunch of those playoff games coming up, but we already have 2 local playoff games to look forward to this weekend, so we don't have to wait that long, Steel. First off, it's Trinity Lutheran in 2A hosting Cross Hill Christian, and Steel, the Saints just absolutely dominant in 2A this year. They made the move up, and it's been all them.
And we talked about their early kind of season where they just had tough competition, all classifications, 6A all the way to 2A, and that led them to have a fantastic league.
All right, and then we're also looking at the Sisters game. This one tomorrow, they travel to take on Valley Catholic tomorrow. That's a tough game against the 3 seed. We'll have eyes on both those games. We'll be back here next Friday for